Welcome to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers. And Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, how are you today?
Great. I'm doing great, thanks.
It's always a pleasure to see you. And let me ask you, what's life like for you right now? Because I know you've been very, very busy. So let's talk about what's new.
Yeah. Incredibly busy. Phones ringing from the shows, and it's keeping us very busy. So.
Absolutely. And what kind of questions are people calling in with, Simon, when they're calling to ask you about retirement? Is there one thing that stands out more than anything else?
I think most people are looking for just a full sit down, just to kind of review their situation, or they're taking us up on the offer of a full financial plan, a complimentary plan. So. They seem to be very serious, and that's great. I mean, it's so important. I mean, we get one chance to do this and do it right. And if you think all the things you've done in your life that for the first time, usually we don't hit it right, the first time. So this is something you don't want to make a mistake on. So.
Absolutely. And we've talked about this in the past, how a lot of times people can spend more time planning their yearly family vacation than they plan their retirement years. And as we're living longer, sometimes now the retirement years are longer than the years actually spent in employment. Would that be true?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe not quite as long as in employment, because that's usually 40 plus years, but retirement can easily stretch 25 to 30, sometimes 35 years.
Which is a long time.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you have ample income for all those years.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And one of the things people don't realize is the inflation factor. So if we have a 3% inflation and we need, say, $60,000 in retirement dollars when we finally quit work, in 24 years, which, if let's say they're 65, that would put them at 89, which is typical life expectancy. They don't need 60,000 because of inflation. They need 120,000 to do the same purchasing power as 60,000. So they don't realize that, and they think, oh, I'm set for 60 grand. I've got 60 grand covered for the rest of my life. And what they don't realize that buying power erodes. I mean, we know that, but when you put it on paper and do the math, you're like, wow, I didn't know it eroded that much.
Right,
and
exactly.
120? I'm not sure I can fork out 120 from my portfolio every year when I'm in my 80s,
And Simon, is that without factoring in long-term care as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that number's going to grow even higher.
Sadly, that could be a factor. Yeah.
Okay, but you help people plan for all of those things. You have them come in and you sit together and you go over what their goals and their dreams are for retirement, and then you take a look at other pieces and components such as inflation, taxes, also factoring in health care and long-term care, so you're able to design a well-constructed plan for someone.
Yes, absolutely, and we work sometimes through our partners, like with taxes with CPAs or estate planning attorneys. We basically leave no stone unturned and cover it all. I like to say, look, you've never done this before, and it's very important to you, and it's important to get it right. Let us do all the heavy lifting. You just do the kind of relatively easy work of just bring in your statements and answer a few questions. Tell me. Then they're fun questions, like what do you want to do in retirement? Like, you're going to travel? Are you going to get an RV? Go see the grandkids? You have a bucket list that you want to accomplish? Those are kind of fun questions. And I got all the heavy lifting, all the complicated, but I love that type of work.
Sure.
So that makes me happy, but I'm all too happy to take on that and do that for them. And then we present the plan, and then we chat about it and make sure that we've gotten it right for them.
Okay. What I have to say is, throughout the weeks that we've done the show together, which has now been into the months, we have been able to glean some really amazing questions from the viewers. And so basically, when they're calling in, Simon, with that hopes of getting the complimentary consultation, a lot of times they're leaving behind questions. So if you don't mind, I'd love to devote today's show to the viewer questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
All right. You have no idea what I'm going to ask you, so let's just see here. This is a great question. It says, Simon, I am confused as to when I need to take money out of my IRA. I have heard two different ages. Can you help me understand?
Oh, wow.
That's a great question.
You would have heard two different ages this year. So Forever, it was, we've probably heard of the 59.5. If we take money out of our IRA before then, there's a 10% penalty. And then on the backside, there's the age of 70.5. So that is if we have to take what they call a required minimum distribution each year out of our retirement accounts. And these are non-Roth accounts. It's money that's never been taxed, and the IRS wants to start taxing it. So they force you, whether you need it or not, to start taking it out. I just would die to know who came up. I want to know why 59.5 and 70.5. Why the half?
I know, how confusing.
Yeah, and for our planning, it kind of like it's just another wrinkle of like things that didn't have to be that complicated. but it's been 70.5 for years, and then in January somebody said, and changed it to 72.
Thank goodness.
So not a half, just, So the year you turn so to answer the question, if you have already reached 70.5 prior to this year of 2020, then you're on the old withdrawal system, and you need to start taking out money once you hit 70.5.
Okay.
And then every year after that.
Okay.
If you didn't reach 70.5 by January 1st of 2021, then you are taking money out based on the age you turn or the year you turn 72.
Okay.
So, and then just a little wrinkle, and this is why there's a lot of things that people don't realize, and that's why I advise them to get with a professional. And many years ago, back in the 90s, I lived in Rome, Georgia, and Charter Peachford Hospital in Atlanta was a drug and alcohol rehab center. And I remember it vividly to this day. I really love their commercials, because at the end of it, it always says, if you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, we'd love for the viewers to come talk to us. But if they choose somebody else, please, I would re-emphasize that. Get help somewhere. And I'll go on to say that if you miss that first required minimum distribution, the IRS kind of gives you a mulligan, so to speak, using a golf term. Okay. That the second year, you can take your first year and your second year distribution. And kind of without any penalties. But if you miss any others, it's a 50% penalty.
Wow.
Plus the taxes.
That's substantial.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's something you don't want to hit.
No.
So if your RMD, let's say you have $200,000 in retirement money, which is not a ton of money, your RMD for starting out is about 4%, so you're going to have about $8,000 withdrawal. And if you miss one of those, you got to pay income taxes on the $8,000, and you got to pay a $4,000 penalty. Wow! So they're into your pocket for more than half of that money. That
Absolutely.
hurts. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, Simon, this is the perfect time for us to actually open up the phone lines to the viewers at home this week, and then we're going to continue on with those questions, okay? All right. To the viewers at home, the phone number on your screen to call is 877-441-4901. What you're calling in for today is a complimentary consultation, a financial review, if you will. Sit down with Simon and let him take a look at where you currently are on your path of the perfect retirement. Do you need to make some adjustments? Do you need to make some tweaks along the way? Simon can make sure that you're on the perfect path so that you can sleep comfortably at night knowing that you're going to be okay throughout all of your retirement years. Again, the number to call is 877-441-4901. Don't turn the channel, because this is your show. It's all viewer questions. We'll be right back momentarily.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers, and Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, a great show we're having today, and I love this part because it's all viewer questions, so you have no idea what I'm going to ask you, and if you don't mind, for us to save time, I'm just going to jump right back in.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
This is another really good question. It says, Simon, if I'm still working at age 65 and covered by my employer's health insurance plan, do I still need to sign up for Medicare?
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good
65 and covered by my employer's health insurance plan.
one. Okay. So there's Part A and Part B of Medicare. And when you turn 65, you're automatically signed up for Part A. Part B is an elective sign up. So if he's still covered by his employer's health plan and he likes that plan and it's a good solid plan, then he can continue on that plan and not be forced to sign up for B. Part A is free.
Okay.
B will come with a monthly premium. And that premium can go up based on income. And so what I would actually advise in this situation is because it's expensive for employers to cover employees with health insurance. So, this is an opportunity, and I've seen many clients do it before. You can approach your employer and say, look, I'm 65 and get on Part B. That premium is typically in the $130 range for clients these days, $140. And then you often would need, and we work with other professionals for this, a Medicare supplement, because Medicare Part B doesn't cover everything.
Okay.
So we often advise, you can cover it out of pocket if you want to take that risk, but you can also get a supplement policy. So the two of those combined, you might be looking, at $150 to $250 a month.
Okay.
And if you get Medicare Part B in a supplement policy, you're pretty well covered for almost anything that could happen.
Okay.
And also you want to get prescription drugs, but that's another issue. And you can go back to your employer with all three of those: Part B premium, Medicare supplement policy, and a Part D plan for prescription drugs, and say, hey, this whole package is $300. Would you mind paying for that? And I'll come off your employer health insurance.
Wow.
And they may be dancing on the ceiling because it may be costing them like $800 a month to have you covered, and then they're saving like $500 a month.
Wow. Okay.
And you've probably got at least as good coverage, if not better.
Okay. Excellent. Well, Simon, thank you so much. This is a great question. It says, Simon, I am really nervous about the stock market. Most of my retirement money is in my 401k, but my only option there is to stay invested. Is there anything I can do?
Okay.
That's pretty much the end of the question. I am really nervous about the stock market. Most of my retirement money is in my 401k, but my only option there is to stay invested. Is there anything I can do?
Okay. Yeah, that's not uncommon that we see, and it's a pet peeve of mine. 401ks, they don't offer a cash position. So you can't get out of the market, whether it's equities or bonds, and get into just plain cash.
Okay.
I would love for the government, with all the regulations, to add that regulation in place, because it's a nice option. I think it's needed. I think it's only fair. You can't force somebody to be invested if they don't want to be.
Right.
So we've seen this over and over again, where there's just not an option to get into a cash account. So, the next lowest risk is a bond fund, but even those can carry some risk.
Okay.
So that would be one option. The other option is to talk to your head of HR or whoever handles your 401k plan and ask them if there's something what they refer to in the business as an in-service distribution. And what they mean by in-service is I'm still working for my employer, but I'm making a distribution from my 401k. And each 401k plan is written differently, so some allow it, some don't.
Okay.
If they do allow it, most commonly it's once you've reached age 59 and a half. So if it was a female?
Actually, did not say.
Okay.
He or she just said, most of my retirement money is in my 401k.
Okay.
Should I stay invested?
Okay. For some reason I picked up female. But
I'm not sure.
Anyway, maybe it's just intuitive. So if he or she is below 59 and a half and they go to HR and they say, I can't do that, ask them, is it because I'm not 59 and a half? Can I do it once I hit 59 and a half?
Okay.
And then drop back. But so if they allow for an in-service distribution, what you can do is set up an IRA and roll over your money from your 401k to the IRA, and within that IRA you've opened up, typical 401k plans have maybe 20 choices of investment options.
Okay.
And an IRA has tens of thousands. So,
Okay.
and in there you can just keep it in cash until you feel safe and secure getting back in the market. So.
Perfect. Great answer, Simon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This next one is, my friend said if I die without a will, the state will take all of my money. Simon, is that true?
Yeah, no. There's a lot of, and I feel really bad when I hear people because they're worried about this.
Yeah.
And it's a misconception. No, the state doesn't take their money. In the Commonwealth of PA, what they will do if you die without a will is that they will find out who the next of kin is, and there's a kind of set procedure they go down. This one first, that one next, and then the assets are not kept by the Commonwealth; they're dispersed to your next of kin.
Okay.
So, and it will take a little while, but yeah, they don't have to worry that they're going to lose all their money.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sure you've just given that person incredible peace of mind.
Yeah.
This is a great question too. It says, Simon, I got laid off at the beginning of COVID, and then my company went under. I thought it said computer. I need stronger glasses. Let me start again. I got laid off at the beginning of COVID shutdown, and then my company went under. I am 61 and was not planning on retiring yet, but I am having a hard time finding another job. How can I tell if I can retire? That's a great question. So they really want to know if they can retire.
Well, my heart goes out to you for being laid off and the double whammy of the company going under.
Absolutely.
There's always that hope we can get rehired there. And we experienced this a lot in 2008 and 9 and 10, is that people at that age, and there's supposed to be no age discrimination, but somebody at that age is earning probably 2 or 3 times what somebody to do the same job out of college is going to make.
Yeah.
They've joined the company, have worked for decades, and they've got pay increases. And we saw it over and over again. People unable at that age bracket to go back to work, and they weren't ready to retire. So, it's not a quick, I can't answer that question on air right now. I don't know anything about that person.
Right.
So I would say come in, see us, we'll do a full-fledged financial plan for them, complimentary on the house, and run the numbers and see if you can retire, and we'll find out for you.
Well, this is the perfect time for us to reopen the phones and give this caller exactly that opportunity. Do you agree, Simon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
To the viewers at home, once again, the phone lines are now open. That number to call is 877-441-4901. If you have questions about how to retire comfortably, or if you can retire, Simon has the answers for you. This is a complimentary consultation that he's offering you today. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call, and this is available to the first 10 callers only. The number is 877-441-4901. You deserve to retire comfortably and with peace of mind. Again, this show is all about viewer questions. They're your questions, so don't go away. We have much more when we come back. We'll be right back momentarily.
Both my parents started off as university professors in England, so I think teaching's in my blood. What we do is very complicated, but we lay it out in a way that is very easy to understand.
It's just a matter of being able to convey the information that they need most to make the best decision for them.
You don't have to do what we do for a living to take a look at our plan and within a couple minutes totally grasp it. When you're teaching, you're really helping somebody learn. So I have a genuine love and desire and kind of a need really to help people. I think that comes from my heart. In England, you name your house like we name our dog. Every house has a name. And the house that my father was born at is my grandmother's house, and the name of her house was Basildon. Whenever I was over there, I felt safe, and I felt loved, and I felt taken care of, and I felt everything was okay. I strive to have our clients feel that same way.
Should something devastating happen, the last thing that they need to think about is, am I covered? Am I secure? How is this going to affect me financially? I think they need to focus on being well and spending time with the ones that they love.
They feel secure in that they can depend on us to do what we say we're going to do to help them make the decisions that they need to make.
Welcome back to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers. And Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial LLC. Simon, a great show, obviously, today. And I love that we're really diving in deeply to the viewer questions. So I know we only have a few minutes left of this week's show, but let's keep going with the questions if that's okay.
Yeah.
All
great.
right. This is a great one, too. It said, I am not thrilled with my current advisor. How much would it cost to work with your firm, Simon?
Wow.
That's
okay.
a good one.
Yeah, and I hate to hear that somebody's unhappy. Certainly if it's with financial advisory or any other situation, we want to try and figure out why and try and rectify it.
Sure.
And without more information, I don't know why they're not happy, but I always, if they want to come in and work with us, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what they have and what they're going to choose to do. Again, I'm the hopefully trusted servant, and I'm here to serve them and help them, educate them, and make the right decisions. So based on their decisions, it would dictate what the cost structure would be to work with us.
Okay. Okay.
But I do set it up the way I would want to be treated. So I always put myself in their shoes. And I thought if I was coming in to see me, well, how would I want this to go down? And there's a big long list of things that I want.
Sure.
I want somebody to listen to me, understand me. I want to get a sense that they're a good person and trustworthy, and that they're competent in what they're doing, and that they're putting my needs first. And then with all that met, and what we do is we will meet with somebody for a couple hours, get to know them, adjourn for about a week, and reconvene with a full-fledged financial plan. Go over that plan. I encourage questions. It makes me feel comfortable that, okay, you've digested. I don't want, I get the most uncomfortable when somebody goes, oh, that's great, let's do it. And I'm like, not one question.
Yeah,
like this is,
yeah. It's like you have to ask me something, anything, pick one.
Yeah, throw me a bone, throw me a couple bones. So because I want them to digest it and understand it, and make sure that it's their decision. They're not just following what I say. So we go through that entire process, those 2 meetings, and they get to pepper me all the questions. And if they want to go home and think about it, they're welcome to do that. And then I ask, well, how do you want us, if that's the case, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to get back to me, or do you want me to call you? And if you want me to call you, when? So I try to not put somebody in a bad position.
Right.
If they elect not to proceed with us, I don't want that to even be uncomfortable for somebody,
Right.
But probably the majority of the time, maybe half the time, a husband and wife, they'll kind of look at each other, and then they don't need to talk it over. They just kind of say, well, what do we do next?
Yeah,
You know,
what's our
how do
next
we
step?
proceed with your firm? You
Okay.
know, but at that time, like once the plan's decided upon, and then okay, I've got a decision from them that I want to do that, and in the questions we didn't alter anything in the plan. Then I can say, okay, this is actually what it costs.
Okay.
Going forward. So to answer the question, sorry, a little
No, it makes sense, though.
sidetracked.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and then at that point in time, there's no pressure. There's nothing from us. I don't like being pressured myself, so I won't do it to
Absolutely.
anybody else. They're free at that point to say, no, that's not going to work for us. And you know, hopefully they're in a better position, and they've learned some things, and they're better off parting ways and than they were when they first came in to meet with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Simon.
Yeah.
Now, this is a great question, too. It says, I'm frustrated with low CD rates, Simon. Can you recommend a safe place to put my savings where I can get a better return but not lose money? We have 2 minutes left in our show this week.
Okay.
Frustrated with low CD rates. Can you recommend a safe place to put my savings where I can get a better return but not lose money?
Yeah, great. Well, you know, bond funds immediately come to mind, but they can carry some risk.
Okay.
So, but fixed annuity, which we did a whole show on annuities.
Sure, yeah.
You know, fixed annuity, and I know there's some bad rap about annuities, but a fixed annuity or a multi-year guaranteed annuity, a MYGA, whatever you want to call it, is just like a CD. There's no bells and whistles. You're just parking your money. You park it in a CD for 1, 3, 5 years. You're going to park it in an annuity for 1, 3, 5 years or 7 years, or however long the term is, just like a CD. They're going to guarantee you a fixed rate the entire time, just like a CD. And then once that term is over, just like a CD, you're free to walk away and do what you want with your money. Maybe CD rates are back up and move it back over to a CD. But what we typically find is annuity rates are slightly higher than CD rates. Not
okay.
all the time, both variable rates and they change, but that's very typical that they're a little bit higher. So
Okay.
that could be an option.
Okay, sounds like a great alternative. So I love the viewer questions show, and I think it's amazing. We're going to have to continue next week, Simon, because we
Okay.
have so many more to go through. But thank you for another amazing show. To the viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us again this week. That number to call is 877-441-4901. You deserve to retire with peace of mind and with confidence. Simon can make sure you're on the right track. Again, all you have to do is call 877-441-4901. Thank you for spending time with us again this week. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we'll see you back here again 1 week from today.